Zhou Xiao is a freshman in the Chinese department at Jiangnan University and writes popular serial novels online. Her latest work, The Bloodthirsty Forensic Medicine of Two-Sided Man, has been well received. On the eve of school, her mother, Chen Lijuan, interrupts her writing to help pack, expressing concern for her well-being. Her childhood friend, Chao Yasi, returns from abroad to accompany her to school, although Zhou Xiao plans to travel alone. Zhao Fanzhou, a quiet student from the forensic medicine department, is assigned to pick up new students and tries to contact Zhou Xiao, ultimately finding her through QQ due to her dead phone. Their first meeting is awkward. Zhao mistakenly thinks her novels criticize forensic medicine. Zhou Xiao's parents drive Yasi to campus. Unaware Zhou Xiao hasn't arrived yet, Yasi tracks her down, and after checking in, Zhao helps Professor Hu with a project, encountering Zhou Xiao again, who feels embarrassed when her hair gets caught in a parasol. Realizing Zhao is from forensic medicine, Zhou Xiao tries to avoid him, though her emotions betray her. Zhao impresses Professor Hu with his report. Zhou Xiao's parents accidentally damage a roommate's artwork while helping her settle in. She faces challenges, including a senior asking for her WeChat, which she declines in Japanese, piquing Zhao's interest. Her friends think her writing earns her a lot, but she reveals her income is minimal despite her passion. Later, she sneaks into the lab, but is caught by Zhao. During military training at the university, Zhou Xiao discovers that Zhao Fanzhou is actually a tutor for her class. Zhou Xiao and her friend Tao Ling try to avoid the training by pretending to be sick, but the instructor sees through their ruse and has Zhao supervise them doing push-ups. Later, news spreads that the instructor will check the dorms, prompting Zhou Xiao and her friends to hide their belongings. Zhou Xiao, caught near the window, tries to discreetly dispose of a curling iron but is reported by Jia Yichun. Fortunately, Zhao Fanzhou intervenes, allowing Zhou Xiao to escape punishment. Afterward, Zhou Xiao helps Zhu Lu, who is upset about her belongings being moved and a strange smell on her quilt. While looking for a straightener, Zhou Xiao finds a telescope, but they are caught by a housekeeper rummaging through prohibited items and are punished. Zhou Xiao eventually retrieves her curling iron with Zhao's help, noticing a scar on his shoulder. The next day, during rock climbing, Zhou Xiao speculates about Zhao Fanzhou's past based on his skills. At lunchtime, Kai Yasi teases Zhou Xiao with an embarrassing photo, which leads to some lighthearted moments. That evening, Zhu Lu feels isolated and accuses her friends of not liking her. Concerned, Zhou Xiao checks on her, but Zhu Lu ends up in the infirmary after drinking too much. When she wakes up, the group shares jokes, easing tensions among them. As military training continues, Zhou Xiao struggles with soreness, while Zhu Lu is unaffected since she's not in the same class. During a search for items using a detector, Zhou Xiao accidentally bumps into Zhao, and when he gets a call about an injured student, she leaves. Professor Hu evaluated Zhao Fanzhou's performance and suggested improvements as the school tasked him with identifying hackers involved in a military training conference. After military training, students began joining clubs. Tao Ling preferred to sleep, while Zhou Xiao declined an invite to the Learning Society, opting for the literary club instead. Although praised for her writing, she was rejected due to poor reasoning. Zhao, witnessing her rejection, felt compelled to stay nearby. Zhou Xiao then focused on the badminton club, encountering its president, Chen Yu. Zhu Lu mistakenly interacted with national champion Xie Yixing, leading to humorous misunderstandings. Zhao noticed Xie's arm injury and offered advice, impressing him. Next, Zhou Xiao tried to join the anime club but was rejected. She confided in Zhu Lu about her desire to start a detective agency, but hesitated due to her awkwardness with Zhao. Encouraged by Zhu Lu, they approached Zhao while he was with Xi, leading to a discussion about her interest in investigating hackers. Zhou Xiao suspected Kai Yasi might be the hacker, but felt relieved when she denied it. Meanwhile, Jia Yichun, embarrassed about her training experience, sought Zhao's help with the hacker issue, but he advised her to join the student union. Eager to attend a criminal psychology class, Zhou Xiao skipped literature. When she explained her presence to Professor Hu, he allowed her to stay. She proposed a plan to lure the hacker and sought Zhao's advice, who suggested a handwritten post to attract their interest. After posting, Zhou Xiao faced criticism from Kai Yasi, who suspected her. To protect her friend, Zhou falsely admitted to being the hacker. drawing attention from Jia Yichun. When called to the academic affairs office, Kayase followed unknowingly. Jia attempted to expose Zhou, but Zhao defended her, presenting evidence of her innocence. Ultimately, he supported Zhou Xiao's idea of starting a detective agency. To apologize to their girlfriends, boys outside the girls' dormitory created a candle heart and played guitar, but Zhou Xiao was unimpressed and extinguished the candles. Tao Ling noticed Kayase's feelings for Zhou Xiao and downplayed their friendship to divert attention from Jia Yichun. Kayase faced financial difficulties due to his mother's actions and relied on Zhou Xiao for support. After applying to the student union and receiving no response, Zhou Xiao considered visiting them directly. Zhou Xiao learned from Zhao that the student union was busy and quickly recruited members, including Zhao himself. At the badminton club, Jie Yixing tried to impress Zhu Lu but ended up irritating her. She fell during a game, and while Chen Yu showed concern, Zi's attempts to help were unappreciated, causing jealousy among other girls. Zhou Xiao felt paranoid, mistaking Zhao's presence in the library for stalking. After a misunderstanding, Zhao clarified his intentions, but Zhou Xiao remained embarrassed. He later noticed her sleeping and admired her choice of detective novels. In class, Zhou Xiao impressed everyone by hitting a target during a pitching game. She encouraged Kayase to join the detective agency, promising to take him to a VR museum, though she was unaware of his feelings for her. While playing VR games, Kayase didn't protect Zhou Xiao, confirming her suspicion that he viewed her as just a friend. Zhou Xiao confronted Fang Wei, a boy from her past who had embarrassed her. Later, Zhao called to inform Zhou Xiao that her detective agency application was approved, but she felt unprepared. When a guard warned her to be cautious, she mistook Zhao, who was holding chemicals, for a stalker and closed the elevator door on him, only to get trapped inside when the elevator malfunctioned. Zhou Xiao got stuck in an elevator and tried to call Kayase for help, but couldn't reach him. In desperation, she contacted Zhao Fanzhou, who quickly came to assist her. He then walked her back to her dorm, where she witnessed Fang Wei giving a gift to Tao Ling and realized she had misinterpreted the situation. Fang Wei was trying to make amends after a fight, but there was confusion regarding Zhu Lu being mistaken for Tao Ling. To strengthen their bond, Zhao asked Zhou Xiao to invite him to dinner as a thank you. Strapped for cash, she borrowed money but felt anxious about the costs at a pricey hotel. After ordering inexpensive dishes, she couldn't cover the bill, prompting Zhao to pay and suggest she repay him later. Zhao surprised Zhou Xiao with a new bicycle, and they enjoyed a ride together, growing closer. Meanwhile, Jie Yixing tried unsuccessfully to get Zhu Lu's attention. Jia Yichun noticed Zhou Xiao and Zhao at the detective agency and created drama by inviting herself to join them for pizza, even though Zhou Xiao had previously been rejected by the club. During dinner, Jia felt uncomfortable with Zhao's care for Zhou Xiao. When Kayase called, Zhou Xiao left quickly, and Zhao followed suit. Kayase became popular with girls after hacking and pretended to be close to Zhou Xiao to fend off their interest. Tao Ling saw this as a chance to match them, leading to a funny moment. Later, Zhou Xiao invited her roommates to join an escape room at the detective agency, including Zhu Lu and Chen Yu, while Jie Yixing felt excluded. Unexpectedly, Jia approached Zhou Xiao, claiming a close relationship with Zhao, making Zhou Xiao uncomfortable. She wanted to avoid their drama, but Zhao overheard and told Jia to leave. Zhou Xiao then visited the forensic lab for inspiration for her novel and discovered that Professor Hu was a fan of her work. She paired Kayase and Zhao for a project, but they struggled to cooperate. Meanwhile, Chen Yu, feeling unwell, asked Jie Yixing to fill in, leading to objections from Zhu Lu, while Kayase seized the chance to sneak away. Zhou Xiao locked Zhao Fanzhou and others in the club, challenging them to find their way out using clues. While Jie Yixing found this annoying, Zhao calmly located the key and they continued exploring, though Tao Ling had fallen asleep. Jie Yixing and Zhu Lu followed prompts to a supermarket, where Z got distracted by fans wanting autographs, trying to impress Zhu Lu, who remained uninterested. After Zhu Lu bumped her head, Z helped her, leading to a moment that fans captured. Concerned, he asked them to delete the photos. Zhao Fanzhou used his knowledge of Zhou Xiao to find a clue hidden in a balloon, which he returned to her. Zhu Lu realized the balloon's significance, but saw that Zhao had already taken it. Zhou Xiao accompanied Zhao to explore the forensic lab, where they hid from security and shared an awkward moment. The school announced a dormitory creativity contest, which Zhou Xiao decided to enter with Luo Wei, despite Xie Yixing's interest. Wanting to keep an eye on Zhou Xiao, Zhao arranged to switch seats with a classmate, sneaking glances at her. Zhou Xiao suggested a Chinese-style dorm decor, prompting everyone to gather materials, with Zhao offering to take her to the supermarket on his bike. Xie Yixing wanted to attend an art exhibition organized by Zhu Lu, facing resistance from Chen Yu but going anyway, captivated by Zhu Lu's elegance. While substituting for a sick artist, he grew tired, appreciating her composure. During their supermarket visit, Zhao got his clothing drawstring stuck in a storage box, and Zhou Xiao playfully helped him free it. They decided to simplify their dorm decor to a black and white landscape style, but Zhu Lu criticized their efforts, suggesting a redesign. Kai Yasi stored contraband in Zhou Xiao's detective agency, intriguing her with his projector. While trying to place it on a high shelf, she stumbled and fell into Kai Yasi. Zhou Xiao quickly picked up a fallen projector and checked on Kai Yasi, who felt flustered by their proximity. To ease the tension, she adjusted his shoulders, but he rushed out of the agency. In the lab, he overheard Gao Ling discussing skincare and began to realize he might like Zhou Xiao. Xie Yixing interrupted Kai Yasi, while Zhu Lu felt bored until Chen Yu suggested a group photo, which she eagerly agreed to. Xie tried to disrupt the photo, and when Zhu Lu wanted to invite Chen Yu to dinner, Xi insisted on joining, leading her to postpone the plan, frustrating him. Professor Hu advised Zhao Fanzhou to balance lab work with other activities. When Zhou Xiao asked to borrow equipment, Professor Hu hesitated due to her novel's negative portrayal of forensic doctors, but Zhao intervened. Zhou later sent her chapter to Professor Hu, who offered help with her writing. Zhao accompanied Zhou Xiao for cantaloupe ice cream, but she felt conflicted about his kindness. During their outing, she recalled an awkward lab moment, prompting Zhao to express concern for her confusion. Zi confided in Zhao about his failed confession to Zhu Lu, who remained uninterested. Zhao advised him to avoid futile confessions. Zhou Xiao's dorm won a university competition, but Zi suspected favoritism due to her popularity. Zhao suggested Zhou Xiao apply for a library job to repay him, while Chen Yu invited Zi to join an intercollegiate league, which he declined, making Zhu Lu view him as arrogant. Kai Yasi encountered Zhou Xiao with teaching materials, and Gao Ling wanted an introduction, but he pulled her away. Feeling annoyed, encouraged to confess his feelings, he worried about rejection. Zhao waited for Zhou Xiao to return teaching aids and overheard Professor Hu reprimanding classmates. Rushing to cover a specimen with his coat as Zhou Xiao arrived, Professor Hu mistakenly thought they were dating, but she clarified. Noticing Zhao's feelings, Professor Hu decided to support them. Meanwhile, Kai Yasi pulled Zhou Xiao aside, misinterpreting his intentions and awkwardly asking her for money. Chen Yu organized a training session in the badminton hall, where Xie Yixing aimed to coach Zhu Lu in women's singles. Noticing her fatigue, he suggested a break, but she preferred to work on her backhand. After practice, he praised her dedication, and she inquired why he didn't compete in the intercollegiate league. He revealed it was due to an old injury. Teacher Gu Wen criticized Zhou Xiao's brief Hanfu homework while praising Luo Wei's. After class, Zhou Xiao rushed to the library, but Zhao offered to show her around. She was actually headed to dinner and a game, so Zhao decided to join her as a temporary team doctor. At the intercollegiate league, Zhu Lu excelled in singles but injured her foot. Xie Yixing promised to win the match for her, and after a tight competition, replaced Chen Yu in men's singles, securing a victory and impressing everyone. After the match, Zhu Lu entered the boys' locker room to return Zi's clothes and noticed his injury, gaining newfound respect for him. Meanwhile, Zhao Fanzhou efficiently helped Si Xiaofeng with a dislocated arm. At a meeting for club celebration activities, only Tao Ling and Zhou Xiao attended, as others were busy. Chen Yu suggested that clubs without programs join the volunteer team, which Zhou Xiao accepted, despite feeling it lacked direction. Xie Yixing aimed to break a Guinness record during the celebration, but Zhu Lu found it silly and preferred to wait for Chen Yu's input. Zhao Fanzhou and Kai Yasi visited a detective agency where Zhou Xiao and Tao Ling were watching a horror movie. A timid Kai Yasi was reassured by Zhou Xiao, prompting Zhao to mention he had to work overtime and leave with her. Tao Ling advised Kai Yasi not to delay expressing his feelings for Zhou Xiao. In the library, Zhou Xiao noticed Zhao focused on repairing books. Zhao Fanzhou had access to the literature room where teacher Huang was meeting. Zhou Xiao was excited to help him repair materials and took photos of ancient books. When Zhao stained his hands while installing a printer cartridge, Zhou Xiao wiped them clean, making him happy. While working together, they ended up locked in the library after closing time. Initially nervous, Zhou Xiao soon accepted the situation and fell asleep on Zhao's shoulder, which he enjoyed. Meanwhile, Kai Yasi and Tao Ling grew worried when they couldn't reach her. The next morning, Zhou Xiao reassured Kai Yasi of her safety. She then volunteered with the student union, where Jia Yichun assigned her to a challenging group. Despite the hard work, Zhou Xiao took on the task of moving water for a talent show, feeling exhausted. Zhao faced a last-minute cancellation for the school celebration program, and Zhou Xiao helped brainstorm solutions. They shared a moment testing lighting effects, but Kai Yasi's sudden arrival flustered Zhou Xiao. Zhou Xiao promised to help Zhao with the show, but struggled to find the right act, eventually asking Luo Wei for a dance performance. To everyone's surprise, Luo Wei danced passionately, inspiring others to join in. Zhou Xiao sent a video of the dance to Zhao, who decided to use it as the opening act. During rehearsals, Zhou Xiao captivated the audience, including Jie Yixing and Kai Yasi, who noticed her beauty for the first time. After her performance, Zhao applied medicine to her bruised legs. In a bold move, Kai Yasi confessed his feelings for Zhou Xiao in front of the crowd, prompting cheers. Despite the support, Zhou Xiao misinterpreted Kai Yasi's intentions, thinking he liked someone else. When he seriously declared his feelings, she still didn't believe him, leaving him frustrated. Zhao watched the exchange with a knowing smile, pleased, while Zhou Xiao struggled to explain her relationship with Kai Yasi. Meanwhile, Zhu Lu was being pursued by a boy in class. Xie Yixing intervened to help her, but Zhu Lu preferred to handle the situation herself. Unfortunately, the boy's advances led to her accidentally falling into a trash can, prompting Xie Yixing to break the boy's phone in defense of Zhu Lu. In the library, a couple argued over a lost cat, and Zhou Xiao offered to help the girl find it, with Zhao Fanzhou joining her. As they searched the expansive campus, they grew tired and decided to check an abandoned house. Inside, Zhou Xiao got scared and accidentally clung to Zhao Fanzhou for comfort. After a fright, she requested ice cream to soothe her nerves, endearing her to Zhao. Meanwhile, Jia Yichun asked Zhao Fanzhou for help with a hypnosis project and hugged him, which Zhou Xiao witnessed, leaving her uneasy. Xie Yixing took Zhu Lu to a dimly lit restaurant, hoping to create a romantic atmosphere, but his attempts backfired, frustrating her instead. Zhao Fanzhou and Zhou Xiao eventually found the cat in a hole, and he took it back to the lab for assistance with its difficult birth. Despite receiving a reprimand from Professor Hu for his actions, Zhao Fanzhou felt pleased when Zhou Xiao learned about his punishment and laughed at the situation. Zhou Xiao struggled to update her novels and messaged her forensic consultant, Zhao Fanzhou, who was tired from late-night lab experiments. While having takeout with friends, she defended her outings with Zhao, claiming they were just searching for cats, although her friends thought otherwise. When Zhou Xiao didn't find Zhao in the library, she nervously asked Mr. Huang about him and learned he was busy with experiments, which relieved her. Meanwhile, Kai Yasi invited her to a detective exhibition, and she accepted. Zhao wanted to invite Zhou Xiao to the exhibition but missed the chance to get tickets. Professor Hu, feeling guilty about delaying Zhao's romantic pursuits, arranged for them to meet under the pretense of needing her to fetch a book. When Zhou Xiao arrived, Zhao realized there was no book and that Professor Hu had set up the meeting. They discussed autopsy tools, and Zhao asked her to the exhibition, but she mentioned her commitment to Kai Yasi, leaving him disappointed and the mood tense. Zhu Lu and Tao Ling prepared outfits for the meteor shower, while Zhou Xiao treated the exhibition casually. The next day, she met Zhao at the bus station looking beautiful, but received a call from Kai Yasi's teacher, who informed her he was still in closed training. At the exhibition, Zhou Xiao bought several items, exceeding her budget. She excitedly tried on new glasses and gifted a red bow tie to Zhao, who encouraged her to wear it. However, after a little boy made a negative comment about her appearance, she felt embarrassed and took them off, prompting Zhao to discreetly place the glasses in her backpack. Kai Yasi sneaked out to call Zhou Xiao. Just as she and Zhao exited the exhibition, both boys began vying for her attention, making her her feel flattered. As they followed her closely like protective shadows, Zhou Xiao invited her roommates to watch the meteor shower. Amid the crowd, Zhao suggested moving to an abandoned building for a better view. Just as Jia Yichun approached them, Zhao Fanzhou took everyone to an abandoned building to watch a meteor shower. When the meteor shower didn't happen, everyone fell asleep except Zhou, who placed a doll as a pillow for Zhao. Signaling her commitment, Kayasi felt defeated seeing Zhou's interest in Zhao. After the spring festival, Zhou returned home but kept writing her novel about Zhao. Excited to see him at school, she hesitated to reply to his messages. When school resumed, everyone cleaned and shared meals. Zhao Fanzhou invited Zhou Xiao to work in the library, rekindling their past connection, which stirred mixed emotions for both. The next day, Zhou felt nervous and tried to avoid him, but Zhao noticed and engaged her. While organizing books, Zhou discovered a gift from Zhao, confirming his feelings for her. Their relationship deepened when they were assigned to clean the broadcasting room, where Zhao confessed his feelings, leaving Zhou flustered. As they spent more time together, their interactions were awkward yet sweet. During a cafeteria meal, they discovered differing tastes. Zhou loved pig brain flowers, which Zhao ate to please her. Kayasi, noticing their closeness, felt disheartened and left. Zhao confidently held Zhou's hand on campus, and she adapted to their romance. Kayasi, dealing with heartache, asked Zhou about her relationship with Zhao, which she confirmed. As their bond grew, Zhao walked Zhou to her dorm while she secretly waved him goodbye from her balcony. Zhou shared their relationship news with friends, while Zhu planned to confess to Chen Yu. At a school program with foreign students, Zhou was paired with a handsome South Korean boy, making Tao Ling envious. As Zhou and Zhao worked together in the library, their affection deepened. Excited for her date, Zhu and Chen Yu were at a romantic restaurant where Zhu confessed her feelings, and Chen Yu reciprocated. Jia Yixing, observing from a nearby table, overheard Chen Yu making a call to a girl, leading him to accuse Chen Yu of cheating. Chen Yu clarified it was to his cousin, leaving Z to warn him not to hurt Zhu. Meanwhile, Zhou Xiao struggled with writer's block and felt self-conscious around Annie Yang, who found her cute. When Zhao Fanzhou picked her up, Annie Yang realized she had a boyfriend, making Zhao jealous. As they worked together, Zhou Xiao found inspiration for her novel, and their relationship deepened, culminating in their first kiss, leaving Zhou Xiao anxious about Zhao's experience. After Zhu's date, Jia Yixing sought evidence of Chen Yu's infidelity and found lipstick and rubber bands in his coat. Determined to expose Chen Yu, Z confronted Zhu, but she dismissed his claims. Zhu later mentioned that Chen Yu had invited her for hot pot. Despite Z's insistence on Chen Yu's unfaithfulness, Zhao was uninterested in helping. After their kiss, Zhou Xiao messaged Zhao, deepening her doubts about his feelings. In class, she was distracted by her writing, while Zhao reminded her to pay attention. Z showed Zhu the evidence against Chen Yu, but she refused to believe him, leading to a confrontation. Professor Hu noticed the growing closeness between Zhao and Zhou Xiao and advised Zhao on dating. Feeling that Zhao had become distant, Zhou Xiao worried he might be a heartbreaker. Jie sought her help in uncovering Chen Yu's girlfriend, while Zhao wanted to spend time with her, but she was preoccupied with the investigation. Zhu confronted Chen Yu about the lipstick and rubber bands, but he claimed they belonged to his cousin. When Chen Yu's girlfriend called, he had to change his plans with Zhu. Jie and Kai Yasi nervously approached Chen Yu's girlfriend for answers. Jia Yixing waited outside Chen Yu's house until midnight, but found nothing, determined not to give up. Meanwhile, Zhou Xiao and her friends discussed Chen Yu's situation. Zhu, though skeptical, felt hopeful and appreciated her friend's support. Zhao Fanzhou planned activities for Zhou Xiao, who chose a craft workshop. While she struggled with the tasks, Zhao helped tie back her hair, though she didn't notice his thoughtfulness. Xie Yixing obtained Chen Yu's girlfriend's phone number and sent it to Zhu. Concerned, Tao Ling informed Zhou Xiao that Zhu was looking for Chen Yu at a cafe, prompting Zhou Xiao to rush to help. At the cafe, they waited for Chen Yu, who arrived late. Zhu confronted him, having arranged for his girlfriend to expose his infidelity. When she did, Chen Yu lashed out, leading Xie Yixing to intervene and take Zhu away, while Zhou Xiao and others confronted Chen Yu. Though relieved after exposing Chen Yu, Zhu was heartbroken, and Xie Yixing sympathized with her. Zhou Xiao felt guilty for skipping her date with Zhao, who reassured her and gifted her a handmade pipe, saying she was his first love. Zhao wanted to express his feelings for Zhou Xiao publicly, but she preferred a low-key approach, causing tension. After her heartbreak, Zhu Lu stopped coming to the cafeteria, worrying Xie Yixing. Zhou Xiao encouraged her to go out, but Zhu Lu was uninterested. As Zhou Xiao and Zhao began dating, she frequently visited the lab to help with experiments and work on her detective novels. Their comfortable dynamic changed when Zhao became so absorbed in his work that he forgot to eat or sleep. While waiting for him, Zhou Xiao fell asleep, and Zhao playfully recorded her snoring. Xie Yixing, unable to find Zhou Xiao, called Zhao, who mentioned she was asleep. Misinterpreting their closeness, she felt left out. To help Zhu Lu move on, Zhou Xiao and Tao Ling persuaded her to visit an amusement park, planning to involve Si. Zhu Lu saw Xie Yixing and Zhao Fanzhou at the amusement park and nearly got angry, but Xie calmed her down. Zhou Xiao wanted to join them, but Zhao preferred to spend time alone with her. Zi tried to cheer Zhu Lu up, but only frustrated her, especially when she outperformed him in a shooting game. Zhou Xiao and Zhao rode the roller coaster together. Despite his fear of heights, he held her hand tightly while she enjoyed the ride. Afterward, she teased him about their photo, while Zhu Lu felt disheartened watching other couples, prompting Zi to distract her. The planned fireworks show was cancelled, disappointing Zhou Xiao. To give Zi and Zhu Lu some privacy, she stepped away with Zhao, noticing a scar on his arm from a childhood accident that moved her. Later, in a taxi, Zhu Lu dozed off, and Zi hesitated to let her lean on him. To make up for the cancelled fireworks, Zhao bought some to set off for Zhou Xiao, leading to a brief panic when staff noticed. They hid until it was safe, and during a playful moment, Zhao shared that the slide was where he used to do homework. Zhou Xiao bought a bubble machine to cheer him up, and they shared a kiss. Zhou Xiao teased Zhao about his slow cycling, relieved when her phone dropped without breaking. Jia Yichun watched them jealously. Zhao mentioned a lecture by her favorite author, Qin Meng, but it was exclusive to the forensic medicine department, leaving her disappointed. Zhu Lu hadn't attended badminton practice in a month, but Zi convinced her to join. She struggled to stay calm when she saw Chen Yu. In class, Zhou Xiao shared the news about the lecture, but they got caught whispering by the teacher. Zhou Xiao found the repair cost for her phone too high and wished Kayasi could negotiate. She decided to leave it for repairs to stay in touch with Zhao. Jie informed Zhu Lu that Chen Yu needed to apologize soon, but she wasn't ready to forgive him, although she began to see potential in her relationship with Zi. Before the lecture, Qin Meng visited Professor Hu's lab with Zhao Fanzhou, her assistant. Zhou Xiao, excited to see Qin Meng, rushed to the lab after receiving a message from Zhao, but felt embarrassed upon arrival. She asked Qin Meng to hold another open lecture for the school, which Qin Meng agreed to, requesting an outline. Zhou Xiao confidently promised to prepare it by morning, but soon realized she needed Zhao's help. In the morning, Zhou Xiao submitted her materials and was asked to help manage the audience. When Qin Meng stepped away, Zhou Xiao took on the hosting role, angering Jia Yichun, who felt Zhou was usurping her position. Nervous on stage, Zhou Xiao was reassured by Qin Meng, and their engaging conversation won over the audience, though it made Jia uncomfortable. During the lecture, Zhao recorded Zhou Xiao's performance, but received a call about his mother's car accident, prompting him to rush to the hospital. He texted Zhou Xiao to inform her, but Jia, feeling jealous, deleted the message and blocked his number. After the lecture, Zhou Xiao couldn't reach Zhao and learned he was at the hospital. While searching for him, she asked Xie Yixing, who was unaware of Zhao's situation. Meanwhile, Zhu Lu faced gossip from the badminton club after her breakup with Chen Yu, and Zi defended her, advising Zhu Lu to tell Zhou Xiao that Zhao was with his mother. Zhou Xiao then went to the Department of Forensic Medicine, where Jia maliciously claimed that Zhao had contacted her about his mother's hospitalization. Feeling rejected, Zhou Xiao assumed Zhao was avoiding her. Kayasi tried to comfort her with ice cream, but she remained upset. Zhou Xiao pretended to be fine in front of her friends, but secretly texted Zhao, who couldn't respond due to his mother's condition. Frustrated by the lack of communication, she decided to vent her anger by deactivating Zhao's meal card. Zhou Xiao, feeling down about her love life, was reluctant to join Zhu Lu and others at Xie Yixing's game, remaining disinterested despite the excitement. Determined to focus on her studies, She actively participated in class and submitted a manuscript for a contest, surprising her teacher Mr. Shu, while her roommates grew weary of her mood swings. To lift Zhou Xiao's spirits, Kaiyasi arranged a meeting with Zhao Fanzhou. Initially hesitant, Zhou Xiao stayed, and Zhao revealed he had sent her many texts, which she hadn't received after accidentally blocking him. Embarrassed, she apologized, and Kaiyasi, noticing their chemistry, excused herself. After nearly breaking up over the misunderstanding, Kai clarified the situation with Zhao, who rushed back to explain to Zhou Xiao, both wanting to mend their relationship. Anxious about their bond, Zhao took her to buy a new phone, insisting on the best one. Zhou Xiao worried about a breakup, but Zhao reassured her. They bought matching phone cases, with Zhou Xiao playfully choosing a pink one despite Zhao's reluctance. Meanwhile, Zhao's mother, Shen Mengjun, was advised to seek psychiatric help. He returned home to find Jia Yichun visiting and clarified his relationship status to avoid giving her false hopes. Zhao showed his mother a photo of Zhou Xiao, who made a positive impression on her. After the final exam, Zhao sought Zhou Xiao but found her distracted. After she submitted her test, Mr. Shu recommended her for a summer camp with the Beijing Writers Association, thrilling her. Zhou Xiao excitedly shared this with Zhao, who offered to join her, but she preferred to go alone. As the semester ended, her friends planned a trip to Haicheng, inviting everyone to join. Xie Yixing decided to join the sketching trip to Haicheng. Worried Zhu Lu might think he was following her, he invited Zhao Fanzhou, who initially declined, but Zhou Xiao encouraged him to go with Zhu Lu. Zhou Xiao and Tao Ling went to the supermarket for snacks and ran into Kaiyasi, whom Tao Ling eagerly invited to join their trip. During the journey, Zhou Xiao quickly fell asleep, and Zhao played soft music to keep her from waking. Upon arrival, he gently woke her and stole a quick kiss while she was distracted. Z arranged accommodations, and Zhou Xiao mistakenly thought she and Zhao would share a room, leading to her embarrassment. After retrieving her ID, Zhou Xiao returned to find Zhao helping with their luggage. That evening, as everyone enjoyed a barbecue, Zhao showcased his grilling skills while Z provided drinks. After drinking too much, Zhao clung to Zhou Xiao, who struggled to get him to his room. Realizing she lost her room card and couldn't reach Tao Ling, she decided to stay with Zhao to ensure his well-being. The next morning, Zhou Xiao pretended to sleep while Zhao showered. He suggested she wash up too, and since she couldn't get a new room card, she lay on his bed, hesitant to sleep. Watching a thriller on TV scared her, prompting Zhao to comfort her by holding her close. Feeling uncomfortable sharing a bed, Zhou Xiao complained, leading Zhao to return to his own. She crawled back to her bed but soon fell asleep, leaving Zhao restless. Meanwhile, Xie Yixing prepared to confess to Zhu Lu with a kite featuring her picture, and when she accepted, he celebrated. Seeing their success, Zhao took Zhou Xiao for a private seaside date, but when they hugged downstairs upon returning to her community, Zhou Xiao's father unexpectedly walked in on them. Zhao Fanzhou introduced himself to Mr. Zhao, who was surprised to learn that Zhao was studying forensic medicine. Zhou Xiao quickly defended the field to ease her mother's concerns, and Mr. Zhao's strict demeanor softened as he noticed Zhao's good looks. To give Zhao a chance to impress, Mr. Zhao asked him to cook. Zhao Fanzhou demonstrated his cooking skills, earning praise from Zhou's mother, while Mr. Zhao remained critical. After dinner, Mr. Zhao tried to create distance between them, but Zhou Xiao kept returning to Zhao's side, making it difficult for him to maintain a good impression. Zhou's parents were fond of Zhao Fanzhou, though Mr. Zhao favored Kaiyasi over him. He even invited Kaiyasi to dinner, creating awkwardness for Zhao. While everyone watched TV, Zhou Xiao leaned on Zhao, but when Mr. Zhao noticed, Zhou Xiao quickly retreated. The next morning, Zhou Xiao's playful antics woke her up. Zhao admired the warmth of Zhou's family, a stark contrast to his own upbringing. Zhou's mother suggested they go out for a walk, but Mr. Zhao's strictness made it difficult for Zhao Fanzhou to stay longer. Before leaving, Zhao Fanzhou reassured Zhou Xiao that he would return as long as his mother was okay. Upon returning home, he found chaos and learned from his father that his parents' marriage was falling apart. Zhao Fanzhou suspected his mother, Shen Mengjun, had a mental health issue and urged his father to take her for evaluation. Zhou Xiao informed Zhao about her upcoming summer camp in Beijing, and he worried she'd learn of his mother's condition. At the airport, he tried to tell her he'd be in Beijing too. When they met at the hospital, Zhou Xiao mistakenly thought Shen was terminally ill, which upset her. During the visit, Shen Mengjun refused her medication. After the camp, Zhao took Zhou Xiao to the airport and watched her leave. Meanwhile, Kayasi helped Zhou Xiao fix a fan at her house, leading to playful interactions that made her parents view Zhao as a reliable presence. Zhou Xiao rushed to pick up Zhao Fanzhou at the airport, nearly getting hit by a car, which startled him. Although annoyed by her carelessness, he couldn't stay mad. Despite her attempts to cheer him up, Zhao remained serious. Having only slept 2 hours due to a manuscript deadline, Zhou Xiao struggled in class. Zhao showed concern for her and impressed the professor with his answers. Meanwhile, Xie Yixing showcased his relationship with Zhu Lu, eliciting mixed reactions. In the cafeteria, Zhu Lu and Zi invited Zhou Xiao and Zhao to join them, while Tao Ling, feeling overshadowed by Fang Wei, mentioned a flyer for a suicide prevention event. Zhao reminded Zhou Xiao to finish her manuscript. Zhao learned from his father that they returned from Beijing, and Zhou Xiao decided to visit Shen Mengjun in the hospital with him. Nervous about meeting Zhao's parents, she brought flowers for Shen, who appreciated them since Zhao had never sent her flowers. Jia Yichun, who had brought Zhao's genetic test results, overheard laughter from the hospital room. Mr. Zhao invited her in, but left when Shen became emotional. Jia tried to ease the tension before leaving with Mr. Zhao. Later, Jia teased Zhou Xiao about Zhao's comment on breaking up if his test results were unfavorable, causing her worry. Zhou Xiao's visits greatly improved Shen's mood. After finishing her manuscript, Zhou Xiao invited Zhao out, but he hesitated due to misunderstandings about his genetic test results, thinking he had inherited his mother's bipolar disorder. While waiting, Zhou Xiao noticed Tao Ling was upset after her breakup. During an interactive event, Zi called for help and ended up kissing Zhu Lu. Zhou Xiao enjoyed the activities, including a death simulation, while Zhao appeared reluctant, even suggesting a breakup despite her enjoyment. Zhao Fanzhou unexpectedly proposed breaking up with Zhou Xiao, leaving her shocked. Initially thinking he was joking, she quickly realized he was serious when he offered no explanation and returned her phone case. Devastated, Zhou Xiao cried uncontrollably, while Zhao felt guilty but believed he had no choice. Zhou Xiao confided in Kayasi, who was furious at Zhao for hurting her friend. Meanwhile, Zhao reminisced about their happy moments and felt regretful. After the breakup, Zhou Xiao felt lost and hoped for a message from Zhao, but deep down, she knew he wouldn't reach out. At the student union, she overheard that Zhao was withdrawing and resigning from his library job, confirming his decision to end their relationship. While Xie Yixing and Zhu Lu were happily in love, Zhao's mood darkened, leading to a confrontation with Kayasi, who punched him in anger. Zhao fought back but ignored Kayasi's warnings to stay away from Zhou Xiao. Zhou Xiao tried to act casual but constantly reflected on their sweet memories, making it hard to move on. Zhou Xiao learned from teacher Huang that Zhao would be at the library that day, sparking her hope. However, when she arrived, she found Kayasi there instead, who had come to work part-time to be closer to her. The atmosphere turned awkward when they encountered Zhao, who was fixing a computer. Kayasi stepped in to help ease the tension. As Zhou Xiao wiped a document cabinet, Zhao nervously grabbed her hand to check for injuries, but Kayasi pushed him away, insisting on taking Zhou Xiao to the hospital for a checkup. Reluctantly, Zhou Xiao agreed to visit Shen Mengjun, with Kayasi accompanying her. Shen Mengjun was delighted to see Zhou Xiao and had ordered her favorite takeout, inviting her to visit more often as she prepared for discharge. Zhao was taken aback when he saw Zhou Xiao in the hospital room. Zhou Xiao was uncertain about facing Zhao Fanzhou, but Shen Mengjun eased the tension by suggesting she feed Zhao apples to avoid suspicion. When Zhou Xiao pricked her finger, Zhao gently checked it. Despite Shen's invitation to a hot pot dinner, Zhao declined and revealed he had broken up with Zhou Xiao, leaving her devastated as she left the ward. Kayasi tried to cheer Zhou Xiao up by taking her go-karting, but the venue was closed. He called the owner, mentioning his feelings for Zhou Xiao, which she overheard, making their next interaction awkward. Although Zhou Xiao sensed Kayasi's affection, she couldn't accept it, leading them both to hide their feelings. While cleaning in the library, Kayasi accidentally locked Zhou Xiao inside, reminding her of Zhao's past confession and deepening her sadness. Zhao prepared to accompany Shen to Beijing and informed Professor Hu about his school suspension, surprising him. Zhou Xiao learned from Jie Yixing that Zhao had dropped out, leaving her shocked but composed, though Kayasi noticed her distress. Mr. Zhao took time off work to support Shen, and they spent the spring festival together in the hospital. Seeing Zhou Xiao's social media post about her novel stirred Zhao's feelings, but he chose not to contact her. Zhou Xiao saw Kayasi trying to buy her novel at a bookstore, unaware he intended to boost its popularity. Frustrated by her book's poor sales, she waited in the library to witness someone buy it, even skipping lunch. Meanwhile, Zhao returned from Beijing and saw Zhou Xiao with Kayasi, prompting him to hide, conflicted by their interaction. Jia Yichun, feeling jealous, mentioned her plans to emigrate, but he showed no interest in her. After a day back at school, Zhao returned to Beijing and bought a book by Zhou Xiao, whose novels were gaining popularity. Meanwhile, Shen Mengjun was recovering under Mr. Zhao's care. Mr. Zhao found an unopened delivery of Zhao's genetic test report, forged by Jia to win him back. Feeling betrayed, Zhao hung up on her. Shen learned the truth about Zhao and Zhou Xiao's breakup and encouraged Zhao to reconcile, recognizing his feelings for Zhou Xiao. When Zhao returned to school, he approached Zhou Xiao while she was taking out the trash, but they held back their feelings. He learned from Jie Yixing that both he and Zhou Xiao had returned. During Zhou Xiao's preparation for a Chinese character exhibition, she almost fell from a ladder, but was caught by Zhao and Kayasi. Startled, she ran away, prompting Zhao to follow while Kai was stopped by Luo Wei, who suggested giving them space. Zhao wanted to clarify things with Zhou Xiao but got distracted by Fang Wei, who expressed regret over his breakup with Tao Ling and hoped for a fresh start with Zhou Xiao, which hurt her further. Professor Hu welcomed Zhao back, and during lunch he ran into Zi and Zhu Lu, who were concerned about Zhou Xiao's feelings for him. Tao Ling threatened to break up with Fang Wei for attention. Kayasi, worried about a reconciliation, sought an explanation from Zhou Xiao. When Zhao arrived, Teacher Huang asked him to help her, leading Zhou Xiao to pretend to be closer to Kai to distance herself from him. In the library, Zhao tried to express his regrets through small gestures, but Zhou Xiao responded coldly. When an earthquake struck, Kayasi helped Zhou Xiao to safety. Afterward, Zhao found Zhou Xiao unharmed, but worried about him after he injured his arm saving her. She accompanied him to the infirmary, while Kayasi felt left out. In the hospital, Zhao Fanzhou received treatment for his injury, while Zhou Xiao awkwardly helped him dress. Despite his injury from saving her, unresolved feelings lingered. Zhou Xiao's parents insisted she come home for safety, but she felt fine. At school, students gathered on the playground due to fears of aftershocks. Zhao tried to get Zhou Xiao's attention, but she chose to stay with her friends. That night, both struggled to sleep, preoccupied with thoughts. Shen Mengjun invited Zhou Xiao over and secretly called Zhao to arrange a meeting. Tension arose when Mr. Zhao discovered his son had a fever from his injury. To give them privacy, Shen Mengjun and Mr. Zhao pretended to go out and locked the door. As Zhao feigned dizziness, Zhou Xiao cared for him, and they realized they were trapped. They ate Shen's food, and Zhou Xiao found the medicine was still good, realizing Shen had set this up for them to reconnect. As Zhao recovered, he worried Zhou Xiao might leave him. In a vulnerable moment, he begged for another chance, leading to an emotional confrontation. Zhou Xiao broke down, recalling her past pain. While Zhao comforted her, Zhou Xiao initially promised to accompany Zhao Fanzhou to class but felt uncertain about her feelings and canceled. Zhao Fanzhou, suspecting she was avoiding him, decided to show his commitment by attending her classes instead. Zhao Fanzhou wanted to invite Zhou Xiao to an amusement park, but she preferred to go with friends. When they encountered Professor Hu on campus, Zhao Fanzhou lied about having a day off, resulting in a punishment of cleaning the lab instead of a date. Although Zhou Xiao pretended to be upset, she secretly felt happy to be with him. While cleaning the lab, a body bag fell, reminding Zhou Xiao of their past breakup. Despite Zhao Fanzhou's attempts to make amends, she felt guilty about their history. To prove his love, Zhao Fanzhou even suggested they get a marriage certificate, promising to be there for her future. As graduation approached, Everyone was busy with preparations, and Zhou Xiao concealed her reconciliation with Zhao Fanzhou from her parents. However, Cai Yasi inadvertently informed them, leading to tension. At the graduation ceremony, Zhou Xiao's father opposed her relationship with Zhao Fanzhou, fearing she would get hurt again. During the ceremony, Jie Yixing proposed to Zhu Lu publicly, causing a mix of reactions from the audience. Zhou Xiao and Zhao Fanzhou worried their relationship would be jeopardized, but Shen Mengjun helped clarify the misunderstandings to Zhou's father, leading to a peaceful resolution. Both sets of parents even began discussing plans for a wedding. Post-graduation, Jie Yixing and Zhu Lu opened a gym. Their relationship, marked by ups and downs, ultimately flourished as Zhou Xiao's vibrant personality complemented Zhao Fanzhou's more reserved nature. They overcame past misunderstandings and found happiness together, with Zhao Fanzhou learning the true meaning of love through Zhou Xiao. Zhou Xiao and Zhao Fanzhou were preparing for their wedding, with Zhao busy writing reports. Unable to resist, Zhou Xiao secretly visited him. They hadn't chosen a best man yet due to Zhao's reserved nature, so Zhou Xiao asked Cai Yasi to take on the role, and he agreed despite his feelings. During the ceremony, Zhao anxiously awaited Zhou Xiao's entrance. As she walked down the aisle with her father, emotions ran high, especially for Mr. Zhou, who reluctantly gave her away. They exchanged vows, and Zhao knelt to place a ring on her finger and kiss her, while Jia Yichun watched from afar, finally letting go of her feelings. After 4 years of ups and downs, the couple celebrated their happiness. Zhou Xiao playfully threw her bouquet, which Luo Wei unexpectedly caught, disappointing Xie Yixing, who had hoped to propose to Zhu Lu again. Frustrated, he watched Zhao and Zhou Xiao marry while Zhu Lu still hadn't accepted his previous proposal. At the reception, Zhao, having had too much to drink, made jokes in front of their parents, creating an awkward atmosphere. This was his second time being drunk around Zhou Xiao, but now as her husband, he felt more relaxed. Ultimately, Zhou Xiao and Zhao Fanzhou's love blossomed into a beautiful union, marking the sweet culmination of their campus romance.